In the previous episode, we built this building right over here in hopes that it will solve all our wood problems. We then went ahead, added a tree farm, a log stripper, a casing maker, and a whole lot of storage for all our newfound logs. But not everything went according to plan. We did not have space for any of the two tall trees. Our stripper was only stripping dark oak, thus leaving variety on the low side. Can we solve the strip log problem? And can we somehow incorporate the other two tall trees in this area in a natural way? So in preparation for today's episode, I went ahead and made us a little clipboard with a checklist. So these are the things I really want to work towards. And the first one is stripped logs. I want to sort out the contraption that will make it possible for us to create all the different types. A 2x2 tree farm, because I would really like to farm the spruce trees and even maybe mangrove. The rest not so important, but we'll incorporate them anyway. Then we need to look at item transportation for those 2x2 tree farms, be it temporary or be it permanent. And then these are all extras, or well, these two. So we will see if we can automate barrel crafting, because I hate crafting barrels, and then also make a little small temporary coal maker. And the reason for the coal maker, we need diamonds to update the population counter. And then last of all, we want to update the population counter. So the first thing we're going to look at is, well, the stripped logs. And I went ahead and hollowed out this area and gave ourselves some space, because now we can tie directly into that drawer slave over there, which feeds the stripper. And then we can have some form of contraption over here. And then on this side, we just went ahead and gave some signals to all the stripped log contraptions. So I know with Create 6 it's a lot easier to set all of this up, but we're gonna have to do some form of old school method where we have additional barrels that output the logs, and then we lock these barrels before they clog up the system. I hope that makes sense. So there's a few resources I need to get together, and then we'll build this little overflow. So I should have everything in the inventory that we need to make this contraption work. And just to run you guys through the problem, so what happens is we have dark oak coming through, and it's coming through in bulk. And we do have a filter over here, but the filter does not, we can take it out, I can show you. We changed it to dark oak, but it had all the log types in it, but it would not care. It would just bring forth dark oak, and then what happened is the dark oak filled up and nothing else is getting a chance to fill up the system. So what I want to do is I want to create a system where if this barrel is 90% full, it needs to trigger a funnel at the back that stops putting dark oak into the stripping system. And I don't know of any other way, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a belt. I'm going to have 8 barrels down here with the 8 different log types, and they will be connected to drawer controllers, which then in turn will tie into the system. So the different log types will fill into the barrel, and the barrel we're going to set up in such a way that it only has 2 slots for logs, and then the rest will be filled with, or 1 slot for logs, and the rest will be filled with something like bamboo or something that I will not be taking out of the system with the help of some filters. So then what will happen is that 1 stack will go out, it will run over to this little drawer. We're going to replace this with a barrel, and it will get stripped. So like mentioned, once that reaches 90%, it will lock this input into that barrel, thus stopping the well, let's say for example cherry blossom logs from continuing onto the belt and getting stripped. And yeah, hope that works. We'll see now. So I've got all the things we need for this, so let's just get building. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rip out, I think we can take out all of this, we don't need that, and we can lift this up as well. And then we're also not going to need a framed trim over here anymore, so we'll rather have, say, a barrel over there, and we can just maybe, no, we can't add another barrel over there. We'll just do a barrel, and from this barrel we'll pull out items, and now we can actually use a normal andesite funnel as well. Thinking about it again, I'm gonna leave it as a brass funnel, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna still do this, but we're gonna just put logs on here, because even this barrel I want to change so it actually only has, say, 3 or 4 stacks of logs in it, and the rest of it will be maybe bamboo or whatever. Again, something that cannot be taken out, and it will just lock the rest of the inventory slots while we work through these items. Because that's now another thing I'm thinking, we need to keep in calculation the amount of items that will be on the belt before that triggers. So we might actually change these threshold switches behind these to lock the system once they reach 80% and not 90%. That way we will allow for the items on the belt to also be able to pass through into the system and not just end up clogging this area. So that's something we need to consider as well. Okay, so let's quickly see logs. We need to add cherry onto this, and the last one, mangrove. Yeah, those are the 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So those 8 logs are allowed onto this whole contraption over here. And now if we head back to the back like this, we can add a normal brass funnel onto that. Can we rip this out? We can, because we will be adding something in front of that. But we need to grab the next items, which will be a belt. No, a belt like that running across, and I think we need to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, let's just run it all the way. Let's just run it all the way. It's not a problem. We've got those like that. It's going to have a bit of a longer stretch, but it's fine. This is just for us to get down to get power, so that's not a problem. And then on this wall we will do the 8 different wood types. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And should we do the last one here? You know what, I'll rather dig this wall out. Let's rather do this. I will add more to this. Let's grab this real quick. Let's grab this, and we can just place this over here. No, it's wrong again. There we go. And this runs over like that. And then on these, we will add the different funnels. The brass funnels. And each of these will have a single log type on them. I actually think it's going to be easy if we say maybe don't allow bamboo. If we make it a blacklist, rather a deny list, instead of going logs. So we'll just say deny list bamboo. Done. And now we can just do that. That should work. So now if we fill this up with bamboo, say all the way, and we only keep 1 or 2 stacks in here, I'll maybe do only 1 or 2. Yeah, 1 or 2. That way it will only put in 2 stacks at a time. It will keep this line, well, not so congested with just say 1 item. But now the second thing we need to do is we need to add an input into all of these, which then again I think will have to be, it will have to be another filtered system. And by that I mean, if we go to our backpack real quickly, we're going to maybe have to do, no, why did I do that? Smart chutes, we do have, can we craft a few more real quick? There we go. Like this. Will that work? Oh, I'm overcomplicating this. This could be so much easier. Can't we just do... Okay. Let me quickly rip everything out. Okay, so no need to complicate it. Can't we just do this? I know we can put them down at the bottom, but I'm thinking maybe we should... Yeah, I guess we can put them there. It's not a problem. Then we can just do this. We have our 8 systems over here, or our 8 smart chutes over here. We can turn each of these into a log, and then once that triggers, we just lock the smart chute. Instead of locking, or instead of having it flow into a barrel and from a barrel into another funnel, that way we eliminate a whole separate system and the need for bamboo. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Okay, this is perfect. So we can do that. And now we can just grab, we're going to need some drawers slaves. Let me just pick that up. I thought I took them out. It will be in this wood box. There we go. So we can just do this. Whoop. Grab this one out. I'll grab that one just now. And then we just need to set up these filters. So we'll do... okay, we need to do them separate. So number 1 we'll just go... log, and we're going to start with oak log, and we're going to do it allow list, and then this will be oak log. And then what we can do is we'll add a little redstone link on that. We'll activate that, and we'll just give it the same code as oak log, so it will be redstone and oak. So that way when that reaches 80%, this will lock and it will stop feeding oak into the system, but the other items will still get fed into that system over there. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get all these filters on, all the funnels and all the switches and everything, and I'll bring you guys back. We turn it on together and we test the system. Okay, so quick update. I just want to mention that we also don't need the filters on here anymore, because we can just directly put a filter on these, because it's the only block that we're allowing into the system. It's not like we're going to punch a whole bunch of different blocks through this, because if we did that, we will prevent, say, other blocks of the same type, other logs coming through, if we locked this funnel and it had multiple logs on it. So we can just literally do something like this, and now we can add our little redstone links and just put in the same codes as we have over there into these. Okay, so I've got all the systems in place. You can see the dark oak is already locked, which means we shouldn't get any more dark oak onto the system. I just want to nab that. And now if we can connect this, then we can see if all of this turns the right way. I've brought it up here, and I think the way it's turning, it should work out right. Let's see. Okay, so that is working. There's some extra blocks. We need to grab that out. We need to just plonk an andesite funnel onto that over there. I don't think I have one in my, I do have in my inventory, so we'll do that. So items can go into that barrel, and now I already added the trims and everything. So if we were to place one trim over here, we had items run out. Oh, okay. I know why they ran out. I also made a mistake. I just noticed I made a mistake on that, because we literally just had these items run off, and that's not what's supposed to happen. We need to add actual logs on those funnels. So yeah, let me quickly do that. Okay, now I've done it correctly. So if we add this in there, give it a minute. There it goes. We've got logs running through, and this will continue to strip. I think it will fill up this barrel first. Yeah, it does. Okay, we can change this back down to exactly 1, because you don't have to send out a whole stack. It can only cut 1 at a time anyway. We've got a bunch over there. I hope 80 is enough for this limit. Maybe we should change these down to 32. I don't think it's going to make a difference, though. I don't think it's going to make a difference, because, I mean, if this wants to send out 32, and it already has the amount in it, it will anyway just stack up to 64, which is not a problem. We just need to make sure that 80 is the right amount for the threshold, and then just keep an eye on that. So I would consider this a success. I mean, it's got the blocks in it, it's running, it already changed over to acacia, so we will slowly start to get all the different strip logs, except for these two and the spruce and the mangrove. Yeah, so that's grand. Okay, now we can go to our clipboard, just right click that and say strip logs. I'm going to call that done for now, which is quite a satisfying thing to do and to say. Okay, so before we continue with the next thing on the checklist, I just want to run in here and show you guys all of the trees that we already started farming have turned on, so we know the system works and they're all filled. We did have to change it, however, down from 80 to 70%, and we also modified this little drawer over here, or barrel over here, only to accept 1 stack of at a time, because the problem I think was in here we had too many backlog of logs in here. So when that system turned on the smart chute, it would lock and it would be at the right time, but this barrel still had a ton of items in it. So I do believe we will be able to turn it up to 80 again, but for now we're just going to leave it as is. But with that said, I think it's time for us to tackle the next thing on the list, and we did quite a lot of technical bits, and I think we should do some building. So what I want to do is I want to build the 2x2 tree farms, and I did sketch out something in creative, and I think it's going to look epic, and we're just going to load them into the schematic and then get them built, and they're going to be in this general area. I don't know if I'm going to build 3 or 4. We do need 4, but I think it's going to throw off the balance. So with that said, I think it's time for you to grab yourself a snack, a treat, and sit back, relax as we run a little build montage. floating platforms are done and they look absolutely epic. Let's just hop on over here. I love what they look like from above and even from below with these little boosters keeping them up in the air, and I think it just looks really cool, and it just contributes to the whole idea of this island is cluttered and we need to make different plans to have the farms and the buildings, so we have these little floating platforms. But I do think we need to hop into FreeCam and just take a little look at what this looks like, and yeah, I think that looks really cool and it just complements everything so well. I was going to go with only 3 because I feel the balance would be better, but in the end I placed down a schematic over here and it looked good, so we have a 4th tree farm at the back. I do have to mention that my only concern at the moment will be vines, because if vines touch that blackstone cliff, it will spread all over the island and I really do not want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to maybe do I want to say this one spruce. We can do this one as, I think, cherry blossom, because it will look really nice, bringing a pop of color in with all of these builds. Then that one I think we're going to do jungle, and because it's closer we're going to only allow it to grow 1 by 1 jungle trees, and then we'll do that one as mangrove. But then also we need to think about getting all of these items into the tree factory over there. So you'll notice they all have like a little brass funnel at the bottom. So what will happen, it's exactly the same as inside. The portable interface will lock onto it, 16 items will be allowed out, and in this case it will just drop down. So what we need to do is we need to head on down to the very lowest one over here, and I think we should be able to build some form of platform coming out of the cliff, and we can do a little backpack with magnet in there and we'll pick it up and send everything into the system. This one on the other hand, I'm not really sure how we're going to do that, so we might just lock that for now till we figure it out. But I think before we do any of the collection, let's maybe see if one of these work, and I think we should do maybe spruce. So let's hop on over here. So this will be the spruce one. So the first thing we need to do is set a filter for these little hands. So these deployers will all deploy spruce trees, and that's all. And I think this pattern is fine. What we can do is we can maybe rip out, say, these two, and we only have a 2 tree. Let's just take this one out. So we'll have a double tree over there, and we'll have a double and a double, and because there's no point in keeping all 6, because I think it will just harvest faster than it can grow. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to rip these 2 out, and we'll replace these with mud as well, and then we'll do the same on this side, just like that. And then the same with, which 2 are these 2? Yeah, same with this one, and this one. So those will all be just normal compact mud as well. And the next thing we need to do is we also need to give this a signal. Do I have, oh, I've got a little lever on it, but then we can also rip that out and we can give it another redstone link, and this redstone link will also tie in with that storage, turning this off once that is full. Okay, so I want to rip out that lever real quick. Okay, that's out. And next thing I want to do is I just want to determine the water is going to be either on that side or on this side over here. So let's go to, yeah, I think to the side of to the front of here is fine. We'll place down our little redstone link. The top will be the redstone and the bottom will be a spruce tree. Can we get that in there? Come on, let's just go down here like that. And then we also need to just shift click it to say it's a receiver. And now if we were to place water, oh, okay, that's spinning the right way, that's for sure. We've got that working. They're just connected to the interface, and everything should be working appropriately. The only thing I do believe we need to change is, let's just close those. Let's close all of these doors. Is the fact that we just quickly need to go set up this little, what do you call it, funnel. So what this needs to do is we need to shift right click exactly 16 on this, but I don't want it to go as of yet, so I'm just gonna maybe how are we gonna do this? Do that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna have to come set it up again, but that's fine. That's just so we know that the items do get harvested, but they don't get chucked out, and we can close that up. So now if we chuck in spruce trees over here, okay, that's not what we want. We do want, but we're first gonna make it do one big tree, and this should slowly now harvest and start to fill up this contraption while we set up the 3 other farms as well. So I'm going to jump into that, get those other 3 running, and then once that's done, we'll look at sorting out the transportation of items from here into the main storage. Okay, so I connected up all the tree farms, fixed them all up, planted some things, and you can see the items are harvesting. I already had to go empty the jungle tree, and we went for a 2x2 in the end. I had to clear out the spruce and I think the cherry, I can't really remember, but also I added that little protrusion over there, and I did connect it to the inside of the building, so it runs along this wall, goes down all the way of this tunnel, whoop, there it goes, and then shoots out over here. So we will decorate that, but for now I just want to see if it works, and let's try the spruce. Let's try the spruce trees. Yep, still blocks lying around. It's filled up again. Yep, filled over here. So if we were to, I just want to wait for it to pass. Yeah, so once it passes, we will, okay, flip it. And then, okay, it's still exactly 16. So if we were to go down, let's just go down all the way over here. I just want to make sure it actually picks up. It does not. Or it picks up, but just not fast enough. Yeah, so I do think it picks up the blocks because it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it picks it up, but I do think it is filled at the moment. Oh, it's also locked. Okay, perfect. So it does work, and now we can just maybe test all the others. The other one that is connected is the cherry over here, and then the mangrove's also connected, but I don't think there's a lot in there already. So if we do this and we change this to, let's just make it exactly 1 for now, and then we can do 16. Let's go check in the factory itself if the storage is filling up. We do have spruce in here. I think the cherry will come in at any minute. We also have spruce getting made. Yeah, we've got cherry saplings, we've got spruce saplings. So everything seems to be working. The sticks might clog up the system. Okay, so it is working, and we've got that little backpack set up, so everything should slowly filter into the system. And the only one that I still need to do is the jungle, which is filled up again, but I think I'm just gonna have another little arm coming out over there and then going into the mountain as well. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna just make sure everything is working, run a few tests, and then we'll see about decorating that little arm over there. Okay, so a lot of AFKing has taken place, and there's the proof. We've already filled up on spruce and jungle logs. The cherry blossom, I kind of made a mistake because I accidentally added bone meal into this barrel, which in turn clogged the system down there, which means we didn't gather any of the cherry logs. They all just fell into the void, but not a problem. Then spruce is well, not spruce, mangrove is also still going. It's not the fastest of trees to go, but at least we've got something automated. But what I want to do now is I need to tackle this little bridge. Oh, I need to mention we also added a second backpack over here because we had to push this one out a little bit that way, and when we did that, we started not getting all the spruce that was getting dropped, so we had to do that. But first things first, let's rip out all of this cobble because we're not going to need that, and then let's see if we can maybe decorate this a bit. Okay, first things first, I want to hide these, and I think the best will be to do like some form of walkway. My only concern is how thick will this look then? it's going to look pretty thick. If we have a walkway over there, and let's just grab our stairs. There we go. And they will then start to jut out from here, I guess. Oh, we're going to have to add another one over here. See, my only concern is that it's a little bit too thick. But I guess what we can do is we can do that, and then we can grab ourselves some girders, and we can run them along the edges like this, because we're going to have to support this somehow. Maybe that one does that. And then can we do the diagonal girder, or yeah, the diagonal girder like this. Yes, it makes it a little bit thick. But I guess now if we want to, we can go back up here and we can do this. Let's quickly grab one of these. Oh, we do have them in our inventory. Industrial iron blocks. That gave me a fright. I don't mind that. But I think we should change the linkage so we do the first one over here, then we space them equally all the way going that way. Yeah, let me look into that real quick. Okay, so I moved it up. I made the first one over here. I did add an additional girder in the center there, and then the ones running at the top. And if we space it like this, we can do one, we can do have 3, 1, 3, and then 1, and then we can always do another 3, but I almost feel like it should open up here at the edge. Something maybe like this, or even maybe just like that. And we can rip this one out, and we can have one final one right over there. Yeah, that could work. And if we then do our railings, we'll just have railings running along like so. And then over here I want to do some form of tower thing with a light on. Yeah, I think that could work. And then we'll just make this safer by doing this. Can we do? Yeah, we can do both. And then it just goes down. Okay, let's hop into FreeCam and just see what it looks like. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think it's going to look sturdy. We just need to add something over here to bulken it up and everything. It might go down and it might tie in over there. But I think that can work for these little platforms. So the only function I have is just to hide this little gathering system, but I don't have a problem with that. Okay, let me finish this one real quick and see if I can update that one, and then I'll bring you guys right back. And we have the 2 supports in. I do think it looks nice. I like the way it came together. It looks sturdy and everything. I did add these lights because I was hoping they would shine red, but it's just very cool bright colors, so I'm gonna leave them off, but I'm still gonna keep them because I think they look pretty cool. And then we have a little walkway going in, and you can go out to this side as well. Again, no purpose. There's no connection from here to the top, well, at least not yet. But if we hop on into FreeCam, we can see what it looks like, and yeah, I think it looks pretty sturdy. I was considering adding a third beam running out from here, maybe 2 or 3 blocks down, and then tying into that. But I think for now it looks good. So I would say this is another success. And if we open our tick box, we can mark 2x2 tree farm done, item transportation done, and that leaves us with 3 more items on the list. But we're not going to have time to tackle all the things on the list. Some took a bit longer than expected. Thus, we're going to go to the very last thing, and that is update the population counter. Because we currently have 10,112 subscribers. That means the population grew with 33 new subscribers. So that's 33 new citizens in the city. Remember, if you want to become part of the population counter, then do consider smashing that subscribe button and becoming a proper Denari citizen. And that sadly brings us to the end of today's episode. I ran out of time, but I do think we've achieved quite a lot. We solved the log stripping problem, we solved the lack of 2x2 trees, and I have to admit, I love those floating platforms. They look really, really super. But as with all my builds, I would like to know what you think of these floating tree farms. So down in the comments, let me know, do you like them? And also remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet, as it really, really helps out the channel. Till next time, take care. Bye for now.